How do you not sabotage your diet?
Well, this is always the challenge. I mean, like the biggest thing is that discipline is needed. You have to have a goal, know that it's a goal, and focus on it. And I say the first 2 weeks of any diet, that is the most important, because that's when you're breaking potentially a cycle of the diet that you had before, and the body wants to stay the same, wants to stay in stasis, which is kind of staying the same. So to break it out of that, you have to be extremely focused. But here's a couple things I suggest for my clients to do when they're starting a diet that might help, reduces the chance of them sabotaging themselves. So number one is set up a day that you plan out your meals for the week, and you grocery shop to that list. If you can reduce the thought of when you're in the middle of the week, what am I gonna have? What's gonna happen is the panic is gonna set and you're gonna grab the easiest thing. And sometimes the easiest thing is not the best thing. But if you make it easy by buying the stuff and you prep the food, or you have it ready for you, then it's easy, it's already there, and you don't have to fall into that trap. The other thing is communicate to your loved ones, your closest circle, that you're in this process, and so that they understand it. It's like it's really important to you, especially the people who live in the same household. And maybe if you can pull them into it, then it makes it easier so that you don't have to have their not as healthy snacks in the pantry. And then the last thing is going to bed a little bit earlier. If you stay up a little bit later, you're more willing to snack. And so you get a double dip of more rest by going to bed earlier, and you also can reduce your chances of sabotage.
On that note, you told your audience a week ago that you do the grocery shopping and you do the meal prep. Are there specific meals that you make every single week?
So family dinners, I would say I do a kind of a rotation every 2 to 3 weeks. So I would say I will do a spaghetti bolognese, at least once every 2 weeks. And so I will sneak in vegetables. So I will blend up whatever vegetables we have in the
It's good.
and the things, so that's like mushrooms, it can be spinach, it can be a couple of peppers, and then I'll take a really good marinara sauce from a can, organic or something like that, good pasta, and I will do ground beef, season it with Lawry's seasoning salt, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, some garlic, some other seasonings, and then throw in those vegetables. Not a lot, but enough to kind of be about a half a cup to a cup, depending on how much I'm making. And then I'll cook the meat. Then I'll put the vegetable kind of blend that's really finely blended, almost into like a juice, on top of the meat once the meat is cooked. And then let that saute for a couple of minutes. And then I'll put my red marinara sauce over top, and then slowly cook that. Once that's going, that's when I get I already have the pot ready, and then that's when I start to cook my pasta. And I use that 11 to 15 minutes of cooking the pasta at the same time as I'm simmering it. And then if some of my kids like Parmesan on it, like fresh, I'll get the shaved Parmesan and finish it if we need to, or I'll just do it as is.
Where did you learn how to cook? So
I think one of my superpowers is I'm very observant. So I watch, and sometimes I can't help it. So I think my mom was a pretty good cook, so I watched her. Jackie said, my alter ego is a fat boy. So I think because of that, out of necessity for my fat boy ego, I had to learn how to cook. It's just like, when you're dropped in the middle of a country and it's a different language, out of necessity you learn how to speak the language. So that's one of the things. I think also Napa Valley, I knew how to cook before I came out here, but I think Napa Valley took up another level. You learn different flavor profiles. I'm the type of person where I'll taste something, and as I'm eating the dish, I'm like, could I do this? Could I make this? If it's a really good dish, could I make something close to this that has the same flavor profile? Or can I make something better? If I don't love the dish, what would make this dish better? And I think about those things and those combinations. So, and then I'm a cook. I'm definitely not a baker. So I do a lot of things, and very similar to how I train. I do a lot of things based off feel. I kind of see the moment, see how the client's moving, kind of understand what their mood is, understand what they have potentially in their schedule, and I can kind of like, okay, we're gonna craft a workout so that when they leave, they have that kind of boost of energy. So the same thing kind of goes into cooking. Awareness, listening to the sounds, the aromas, the timing. Do I want more crisp? Do I want it to be a little bit softer? Do I want it to be a little bit more burnt? It's all those things that you kind of learn time after time.
Is there a dish that you make that your family just goes crazy over?
Ribs. I make pretty good ribs.
Wow. What are your thoughts on organic versus non-organic? And do you try to buy a specific one?
I do think, so eggs I'm kind of pretty big on. I've had an experience where we move out to California. I've had, white, simple, regular eggs, not non-organic eggs for most of my life. And then I moved out to California and you have, more farm fresh eggs or organic eggs, I splurge a little bit. And I remember the first time I go back for Christmas back east and I'm with my family. And I'm like, we're just gonna make 2 eggs and everything like I normally do in the morning. And I'm gonna do a little workout before we do our holiday festivities. I eat those 2 regular white eggs. I was like, oh my God, what is this styrofoam? And so normally I just do a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, that's it. And then I totally got why some people will throw so much stuff onto their eggs, the cheese, the sauces, and stuff, because they have to cover up the damn taste. If you have really quality eggs, you reduce the need to do that. So when it comes to organic, I mean, ideally, yeah, if money isn't a thing, I try to do organic. There's certain things that I'm more about as much produce being organic than less about things that are already in boxes that are organic. It's already in box, but unless it's some canned stuff. Some canned stuff I think is good organic. Like things like bananas, I don't have to have them be organic. But I try to do berries, eggs, beef, or try to get prime or like a really good beef if I do that. And then what are the other things I would get together organic? That's about it. And then I try to use, if we do juice, I try to get fresher juice than stuff that can just sit on the shelf or whatever. We went all different places with the diet stuff, but take a listen again if you need to, and focus on those first 2 weeks. If you do that, you're gonna have a higher chance of success. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.